Nothing like that Wednesday swag with a great intro from your boy T Word with my co-host Q. This is the Mic Check Podcast. Thank you for joining and welcome. Q, what's good, bro?
What's up, T? What's good, man? Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful show from the Mic Check Podcast. You know how we do it, man. We love to bring you all of the relevant news, all the big topics, all of the great news out in the sports world, man. And sports is going to be slowing down here for us, at least the news front. With football already over, basketball already over, but we're going to continue to bring you guys this great content as much as possible.
Absolutely. And I heard we as a boxing channel, but guess what? We got some different stuff for y'all today. Absolutely. We're going to talk about some other stuff, some football, some basketball. If you've been paying attention to the Mic Check Podcast, we've always said this is a sports podcast. So we're going to bring you sports and connect you to some of the greatest minds in sports, media, and entertainment. And that does not stop today. We got some great guests, and I'm going to throw it to Q to set this thing up. It's in the air, bro. Dunk it away.
Absolutely, man. You know, honored to have Ike and Rome joining the show with us today. Some guys, some pioneers of this radio, video, podcast game, guys that really kind of inspired the idea in me to want to go ahead and do my own podcasting show when I first went to see them do their thing about 7 years ago. That was right before T and I first ever did our own audio podcast. And now look how far things have come. Now we're on video using a great platform like StreamYard, and we're bringing you lots of different kinds of content from what we were doing before, but still sticking to our bread and butter, football and basketball. So that's what we're primarily going to be talking about today. We want to make sure we welcome on Ike and Rome. We really appreciate having both of them on tonight.
All right, hey. These fellas in here.
How's it going?
What's going on, fellas?
Did he bring y'all out like Steve Harvey, though? Did he pull a Steve Harvey? Did he set it up for you?
He rubbed the wood.
There you go. What's going on, guys? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, brother. Thank you for having us.
For Absolutely. Sure. We appreciate y'all time.
Wonderful news to get to have you guys on. You know, this is something that's been a really, big thing on my heart, man, was to get you guys to come on this show after T and I were able to get this thing rolling because, like I mentioned in the intro, you guys really kind of set a little trigger off in my mind. Like, man, this is pretty cool. I think I want to do something like this, of my own. And at the time, obviously, T and I were both living in the same community here in Texas, and we connected on the same level as far as our sports interests. So, things have been going really strong since we restarted our new podcast the last probably about 6 or 7 months. And it's been a really, really enjoyable thing for us to do. But the first thing we want to always talk about when we have guests on is what kind of got you guys started. If you guys can give us, as well as the watchers, just a short synopsis on, what got you guys started in sports coverage to where your guys' show is kind of where it is today.
Ike, you want to start? You want to answer that?
No, go ahead, Ron. Roll with it.
Oh, let me just give you a little background before we, like me and Ike talk sports every day. That's what we used to do, man. We used to get on the phone. I'd get off work. We used to start fussing, arguing about high school sports, just whatever. Man, did you see this young man? Did you see Sarah? Oh, him. And that's just what we did. And one day Ike came to say, Rome, man, we need to start a podcast. Like a podcast. Like, yeah, man, we need to do something with the high school level. He said, man, it ain't nobody doing nothing for the kids out here. I was like, you think that'd be us? He was like, man, listen, we could do that. He said, man, we know the game. We know all the young people. We've been watching sports. We've been going to all the sports. We started off, youth, going to youth games. That's been a part of what we've been doing from the jump. Before we had a podcast, we knew we loved sports. We could talk about sports. We was doing First Take way before they was doing First Take. We was talking mess, going, any of those shows, we was doing it already, but it was just over the phone. So when he came to me with that idea, let me tell you, man, it had to be for us because instantly stuff started falling in place for us. Like we of course we had to work. We got with a guy. He's a matter of fact, he's a senator now or on the board in Compton. He one of the senators from Compton, and he gave us the format. Once we got that format, we seen for ourselves how it worked. We said, you know what, let's stick to youth sports, high school, because nobody was in that lane. So we took on a high school game, and man, once we took it on, it just flourished and it took on its own life. We were able to do had a lot of different avenues from there. really to be able to talk to the kids and help them get their game ready for the next level. You know, we used to see a lot of kids. We used to clown and not being disrespectful, being funny. We used to laugh when the kids from Alabama and these other states get on the airways and get interviewed. It was like, oh man, let me tell you how you know. Well, and they wasn't ready, they wasn't prepared. So Ike, you know, being an English major that he is, he thought, man, listen, this is something that we can help the kids with. This is something that'll get the kids ready for the next level. Speaking, being able to speak in front of the camera, getting interviewed, knowing how to talk, making it normal to them, you know, because a lot of these athletes that we were dealing with were, you know, athletes that we knew were going to be 4-star, 5-star athletes. They were going to get interviewed a lot. So we started putting that, you know, once we started interviewing these kids, talking to them, getting to know them, family-wise, we made our show based on family. We didn't have no kids come on without their parents. Nobody entered our show without their parents. Either your mom was going to be there, your dad, your guardian, somebody was going to be a part of the show, because what we tried to do was implement family into our show. We wanted it to be a family show. We wanted everybody in the house to understand you were on the Ike and Rome show. And we did it up big for the kids. Like, man, they'll come on there. We'll have the whole football team and we'll blow it up, man. We'll have them on every platform. We're FaceTime, and you know, we're doing everything for them behind the scenes. And we was letting interviewing single interviews, interviewing as a whole, interviewing them one-on-one. We did everything to try to get these young men ready, because we felt that it was our responsibility. We were getting a very good look at a lot of kids young, a lot of kids 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade playing football out here in Southern California. It's a plethora of kids. It's so this is the best feeding ground for anybody that want to start a podcast in sports is Southern California. You know, and you can ask Ike. I'll let Ike get with this, but we've seen the sidelines, brothers, go from maybe 2 people, 3, so you can't get on the sideline in games now.
Right.
In California, everybody got a podcast, either with their cameras, their phones, something, to where it's like when they seen us, they was like, "Hey, Ike and Rome, you know, we're talking." You know, we turned into like the Godfathers in like 5 years, which was weird because it blew up so big for everybody that everybody was looking at us like, "Man, can we interview you? Can we come on the show?" So it turned out to be something that we never seen. But we appreciate it greatly.
It blew up on us.
Yeah,
that sounds super cool. That sounds
we're not too
cool.
big time, but it just kind of blew up on us. Hey, let me add this, guys. First of all, gentlemen, congratulations.
Right.
We want to tell you guys congratulations for just stepping out on faith. You know, it's not easy. Sometimes going to unfamiliar territories is you know, it's not easy. You know, people looking at you. What you gonna do? Your mom asks, your dad asks you, everybody, your girl, your wife. You sure you got the camera right? How you?
Right.
You didn't get a haircut today. You know what I'm saying? So, congratulations for starting and doing what you guys are doing, man. I checked out the show. You're doing an excellent job, T.
I love it.
Q, man. I've been seeing you since you was probably about what, 11 years old.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
You always was a big boy, big back cat. You know what I mean? Come from wonderful families, and that's what we deal with. You know, at the Ike and Rome show, we always want to promote what other people don't promote. We understand that you can score 50 points in a game and you rush for 300, but we always want to ask you questions like what you listen to in the locker room.
Right.
What's your favorite hamburger and fried chicken spot?
Right. Do you have a yaya?
Yeah. What's your girls looking like? What's your girl game looking like?
So what type of shoes do you shop at Shoe Warehouse or Foot Locker? You know, are you wearing the Jordans or are you wearing the Jordan brand? You know, what you want to know?
Right. Yeah.
That's the difference, T.
That's the difference.
Right.
No, but we started real quick. I know you guys have some questions you want to answer, but we started 2015. And our mantra is to win in life. We started that. And we're trying to get the guys to understand and young ladies to understand winning. We want this to be a lifetime of winning. You know, you might lose a couple games, but the bigger picture is for us to promote winning in life. And in 2015, we came up with that. It was a guy that was helping us. What's my boy name, bro? James.
Yeah. He worked for
a good friend of ours. We met with him. He was working with the Angels.
Yeah, 8:30 a.m. ESPN.
Yes.
8:30. I think it was the Lodge, Roger Lodge show.
Roger Lodge. He was working. James was working with us, man.
Yeah.
Good friend of ours, man. And condolences to him and his family.
Yes.
But we every Friday night, man, for about 4 hours, for maybe a month and a half, he sat and met with us and talked about radio. And so he wanted to take us up under his wings because we had never been in the radio industry before, podcast.
Right.
And man, he was gonna put us on a 5-year plan, Q, and it was too long. He gave us some gems though. Told us what to do, what we should do. And we was like, man, we don't have 5 years. We don't have 5 years. So I linked up with Kevin Nash. I called Kevin Nash from KJLH, Stevie Wonder Studio, and he told me he had a studio, and we went in and man, it opened up the doors from them. Right. And just to tell you about James passed maybe what 4 years ago?
Well, I don't think it was that long, but a couple years ago, maybe 2 years.
He passed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just, man, it was just strange, man. But God helped us. And we here, man, trying to make it happen. We here with y'all.
Let me tell you what's funny, dude. The championship game, it was a CIF state championship game when we didn't know no name. We were a radio show. They didn't really have podcasts in 2015. Think about this, brothers. Mm-hmm. They didn't have podcasts. So we were a radio show. We didn't have no show, anything. Bosco was playing against Corona City in the championship. We went on the field. James gave us passes. We got on the field at Angel Stadium. You remember when Q, when they used to have the championships at Angel Stadium?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, for the Pac-5. It was Pac-5 back then. Mm-hmm. So they would have it was the championship game going on. We get on the field. We try to figure out a name. They're like, we got a radio show. We don't got a name or nothing. Promise you. We sit here, we laughing. Ike said, Rome and Ike. I was like, and we was like, Ike and Rome. I said, ooh, that ring.
Right.
Like Ike and Rome show. And they was like, and from then on, we told the people, we the Ike and Rome show. And from then on, the kids took it. Like, man, we never heard of that. And we took it from there. That's why if you look at any of our original shows, we don't say podcast. We're the #1 high school radio show in the nation. That's what we say, because there really wasn't no podcast. It really wasn't podcast back then. It was
Kevin Nash. Well, Kevin Nash kind of introduced us to it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't wrong. Not too many people doing podcasts. But what the difference between podcast and radio was the internet, and you're able to reach more people.
More people.
Of course, FM, AM, you got a limited. And so he told us, we were like, I don't know no podcast. I don't know what a cast is. I don't know what a pod is.
Right.
We was ready to roll. Man, I got some questions for us, Ron. What's up, man? I know y'all got a list of questions.
Last thing we're going to do before we get into those topics, we are definitely going to plug you guys' show there. You guys can see on the screen for all of our digital viewers there. AcceleratedRadio.net is where you can find the Ike and Rome show. Go ahead, guys, and give us a plug on when you guys are doing your show on a weekly basis.
Actually, we've left Accelerated Radio.
Okay.
We're doing our own shows. Yeah, we had, during pandemic, a lot of stuff went on. Mm-hmm. So we started doing our own show. We're going to be starting up our own Ike and Rome show through our own radio. Our own podcast. Like
Just tap in with us on social media.
Yeah, we right there.
Twitter. Yep. Instagram, Twitter.
And you'll find out, we got some big stuff coming up. But pandemic out here kind of shut a lot of stuff down for a long time. But it gave us the energy to start doing our own stuff. Like, we're gonna do it ourselves and get all of what we need to do ourselves. So we learned a lot.
Get all the
everything.
We're sharing it too much.
For sure. Well, we're gonna move on to our first topic, man.
Okay.
It's a great topic to start with because it's something you guys are experts in. In recent years, and a lot of people may not know this, but in the last probably 3 or 4 years, and I'm sure it's been much longer than that, we've seen a huge boom when you talk about the quarterback position of players coming from Southern California and making it to the highest level of college. And then we just had back-to-back
one and two
guys get drafted in the top 5 of the NFL draft. That are both Southern California guys when we talk about Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Right. What do you think has kind of gone towards the shift to where these kids that are, coming with that high caliber of skill set from Southern California, they're now able to take it all the way to win Heisman trophies at the quarterback position as well as being high-end draft picks? Because up until probably, I would say about 10 years ago, it was a lot of other states that were getting this kind of love when you talk about making it to the highest level.
Right. Well, as far as our quarterbacks, we've always had great quarterbacks come out of California. You got to think about Tom Brady. You think about Aaron Rodgers. Some few more come to mind. You think about JT
John Elway.
John Elway, Jim Plunkett.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to go all the way back, but recently
Warren Moon.
But recently it's been crazy because high school sports have took off in Southern California. High school football, let's say that, has took on because of youth football, I believe, has took on a global, national connotation now. Because now, when you playing 12U, 11U, you're playing against Texas, New York, all these different states now, right?
DC, yep.
Yeah. So now, when you're getting into high school, you've had this experience. So now, our quarterback, our game, the football game out here, because you know how they said, man, California was, we got too much going on. Sunshine State, they really don't care. They come to the games late. The people don't got no love for you know what I'm saying? You know how it goes.
You get distracted. You
do.
The
second half at the Laker game.
Yeah.
You know how our high school football wasn't the same. This is what I used to always tell people about Texas football. I said, yeah, they may close down the city. They may close down the town. They may do all those wonderful things, but that don't automatically mean your team is good, right? You can shut down a whole city. You guys get behind your teams. They get behind their teams in Texas. But that didn't automatically mean that those teams were superior than other states, Florida, everybody. So once they started making these connections, now our boys have to play top-tier football. And I believe Modern Day, Bosco, these private schools, as much as some people say they're a hindrance, they really helped our game out here as far as our quarterback game, because another thing, 7-on-7. I believe that was a catalyst in improving the quarterback play. We just so happen to have a string of quarterbacks right now that came along, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. You got the young kid coming out of Modern Day right now. Yeah. Elijah Brown. You got the kid coming out of Carlsbad, Julian. He's another good. Sarah have another one.
Malik, they had Malik Murphy. That's at Texas.
That's at Texas now. Yeah. Malik Murphy. Yeah.
So you had a lot of kids coming out. Gerber, I think he was over in Edison. These kids, coming out, but they've been playing at 7-on-7. The game has sped up. It has sped up, and we all understand offense is making the games now, right? It ain't just about defense. Offense win championships now. It used to be defense win championships. Now it's offense. Because you can score 60, 70 points now because these quarterbacks, they're wide open. But I believe that California took on the notion of we're going to play one sport now. See, you remember we used to play a lot of sports out here. One kid might play baseball season, football, basketball, and he's doing all those. Now these kids is honing in on one thing. I'm playing football year round.
And that training, the level of skill has elevated, fellas, from the quarterback, receiver, all the skill players in Southern Cal, elevated because of the training that they get. Right. So they train after practice, and then they have a one-on-one coach.
Right.
So you're playing year-round. You're watching film. You have a personal trainer. You work out with your team. And so when you put in that type of work, when you throw all those seeds down, something is going to come up, and it's blossoming throughout all of the United States, and everybody's noticing. And it's not just the quarterback, man. The receivers and they're skilled. They're prepared.
We have some great teams coming out of just Southern. Man, you got to think about this, man. In California, I think they have like 2,500 CIF schools that play. 1,500 of them are in Southern California.
Right.
Think about that. The majority of high school football, the teams that are good, come from one area of the state, Southern California.
Don't do them like that. No, that's cold. Don't do them like that. Wrong. Wrong. No, man. No, wait, it's a big state. So, and you know what? Rome is pro Cali. He gonna push it. I'm the other one that's gonna be like, man, I like Louisiana Heat, Florida Heat, Texas Heat.
There you go. Now let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this real quick. So you spoke on the 7-on-7 development, and I echo your sentiments, because here in Texas, I've watched 7-on-7 go from a niche thing that 1 out of every 13 or 15 schools did to almost every school puts a 7-on-7 together.
Right.
What do you feel like is the greatest benefit for a quarterback going into a 7-on-7 setup with his receivers and with his coach? What do you think is the greatest thing that they gain from getting into the 7-on-7?
Let me start off, bro. Well, what's big is they do it beyond high school teams. So they play 7-on-7. It's like travel basketball.
Like AAU.
It's an AAU.
EYBL.
It's EYBL.
Yeah, but football.
You know what I mean? So in basketball, they took the same they took the same blueprint they tried to. They're trying to take the same blueprint as baseball and basketball. Mm-hmm. And so you play all year round. You get these guys on your on your 7-on-7 team that's from New York. Your receiver might not even be from Cali.
Ah, okay.
And so you're able to work on timing. You're able to look at coverages and read coverages really fast. And the games, like Ron said earlier, it slows down to you.
Right.
And not only are you off the field, on the field you're studying, off the field you're able to study.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So the football game is spread out. Like basketball, it's not a big thing for centers anymore. Nobody's running the wishbone in football. Everybody's spread out. And so you're able to, you work on your skill, timing, your vision, and a lot of these coaches like that.
I think a lot of these, and the players, especially for the receivers, it helped them deal with, because if you watch 7-on-7, 7-on-7 is like not jungle ball, but they let you get down. You know what I mean? Like, you come off the line, they gonna hold you, they pushing. If you make it through the 7-on-7 circuit, that's why the stars. Check this out, brothers. You could go into 7-on-7 as a 2-star and come out as a 5.
And never play varsity. And never play varsity football.
Never play varsity. You were a sophomore. You didn't start on the varsity team. You was on a team, but you didn't start. You went to 7-on-7, bringing in your junior season. Now you a 4-star, 5-star. I don't say that's wrong. I do say it has its ups and its downs. It has its benefits and its non-benefits. Absolutely. But what it do is develop. I believe it developed these receivers. It developed corners. You got fast linebackers now. Yeah. Linebackers able to get off the ball quick.
You got to cover.
7. They touching each other. They roughing each other up. So now when the season starts, a receiver can go through an arm tackle. He can knock down that swim technique and come up because he's used to doing that. And the timing. Let me tell you guys something real quick. This ain't no funny stuff. I can vouch for this. I had a white parent. We were real close. A mother, she was my girl. She have a son. He played quarterback, very good. But they lived in the area in Palos Verdes, right? And that's like, upper class in California. Yeah. So he
South
was just
Bay area.
Yeah, you don't know that. Yeah, that's like what's that? He was just throwing to kids around him, white kids, Asian kids, stuff like that. I told her, I said, listen, I'm not trying to be funny, and I want you to understand what I'm saying. If you want your son to be better, you got to get him down here to play with these kids in the inner city. Well, why you say that, Ron? Because his timing. When he gets to high school and when he gets to college, those are Zach's kids he's going to be playing with. If he playing against a receiver that's running a 4.9, and that's all he used to throwing to, and then he get out here with this boy running a 4.3, everything going to be behind him. It's going to be over him. You see what I'm saying? So I said, look, and she did it. Her son is at St. Anthony now, great young quarterback coming along the way. But she understood that. She put him in playing youth football in Compton. They live in Palos Verdes. He went all the way down to Compton. I ain't tell her to go all like that, Compton, but she was let me tell you. If I'm going in, I'm going in. I said,
let me take your point.
I was talking about Gardena or something, Carson.
Let me take your point and expand on my last question because you took it somewhere I want to go. What has the 7-on-7 scene done for the development of African-American quarterbacks? You talked about timing, but do you think it's played a significant part in why you see more African-American quarterbacks who can sling that rock now? What do y'all think about that?
We've been slinging the rock.
We just didn't have opportunities.
We've been slinging the rock.
I agree.
We've been good since the 70s.
Yeah,
that's true.
But they got tired of their quarterback getting sacked and getting hurt.
Yeah, one of the mobile quarterbacks now.
Yeah, we've always been cerebral.
Right.
We've always been smart enough to play.
Darian Hagan.
You know what I mean? It's just
Colorado, Oklahoma back in the day. They was running wishbone, but
if you want to win, man, you're going to eventually change. Somebody go say, you know what? Tyrone ain't really that bad. Let's just throw Tyrone in there.
Yeah.
Give him a chance, and he's gonna shine.
Yeah. What's the young man that just got drafted? Anthony. He got drafted number 4. Was it Anthony?
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson.
Florida?
Kid out of Florida.
Now, we seen him play. You didn't see nothing super special, but what you did see is he has growth
potential.
And these NFL coaches see that, and they say, man, we see what he got.
We could tweak this a little bit.
We can cut down on interceptions. We can cut down on all this because we wasn't getting those opportunities at first, T. If we made mistakes, if we had interceptions, you were running back. You wasn't able to get to work it out and keep working and watching film and really getting taught the film game and how to read these different defenses and know how to cut off patterns and do all. We wasn't learning all that, but I believe 7-on-7. See, because 7-on-7, they do a lot of film work too. You know those guys especially when you at one of those training facilities like a premium. Yeah. Then you have what's the other one? The Holmes Run.
Pro Way. These guys taking it serious. They have Choctaw, they have board, they in the room, they doing up. So you have a lot of that stuff that's going on now. But we just didn't get the opportunity. I listen, I said the same thing about Bryce Young because he came from Cathedral Catholic. I like, he ain't ready for modern day. That was my first words. I had to eat them words up.
Yeah.
Well, see, he played, but his Pop Warner, the difference is, I asked what Pop Warner program you come from. If you come from a little league, high caliber, like the OC Buckeyes out here in Southern California, Rampage, you know, you with the Rams or you with the OG Ducks or something like that, and now the Chiefs, then you qualified. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, if you played for Inglewood or Carson, you was qualified because it was some goons.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No doubt. So that actually is going to lead to the last thing we're going to mention just on this topic. And I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts because ironically, you guys mentioned 7-on-7 being a big exposure tool for a lot of these kids as far as getting recruited. Well, ironically, the player I'm going to mention to you guys is a guy the first time I saw him play was from 7-on-7. It wasn't high school highlights. And the guy I'm talking about, you guys may already know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name, Nico Imaleva. Now tell me what the real deal is because you guys have seen this guy play. We're going to highlight this guy because he's the #1 rated quarterback from the state of California.
What's up, Nico?
He's a top 2 recruit. And T, who's not as familiar with him, is going to have a lot of chances now, as well as I am, in college to see this guy because he's going to be playing in the SEC. He's going to be playing down in our region. So we're going to be seeing a lot of him in the next 2 years. How good is this guy, and what do you guys think? What did you guys think of him when you first saw him play?
Unbelievable talent. One of the best balls I've ever seen out of a high school player that come off his hand, his fingertips. I know his dad. There's some hard working people, down to earth, and he deserved everything he got, man. He, been Long Beach guys, and come from a great family. And the boy he can play, man.
He's just one of them kids that could play. He just one. I would have preferred, personally, he went to Poly and then he left. He ended up leaving and going back to Downey or Warren. Was it Warren? Yeah. And I wanted him to stay at Poly because I wanted to see him up against modern day and them levels like that because I don't doubt him. I think he's an excellent player. I just wanted to see him light it up. Man, it's so exciting to see these Trinity League games and these CIF games in the playoffs when Poly come and Sarah and these teams come together to play these schools. So I wanted to see him at that level in high school. But, man, the games I seen him play, man, he was far above everybody that he played against. I tell you that. He was far and above.
And he can run. He can
run.
Well, everybody's going to have a great chance to see this kid play. He's going to be at the University of Tennessee coming up really soon. So I know that they're going to get at least 4 nationally televised games. So we'll be looking forward to seeing him play for sure. We're going to move on to our next topic, and we're going to bring this.
Wait, hold up, Q.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add this, and I'm going to be real quick. The boy got some good money on that NIL deal, too. I ain't speaking on his pocket.
Nice. That's where it's
So
at. Speaking of
NIL, I'd sign there too.
Yeah, he did a great job with that. He did a great job.
About 6 to 8 mil or something like that for Tennessee.
Wow.
So he did a great job with that. Got a little signing bonus still in high school as a senior.
Yep.
Right.
California, you're able to receive some of that NIL money.
You can start getting your money as a senior.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
That's a great segue. That's a great segue. Go ahead, Q.
We're going to talk about a guy who's probably been at the forefront of, NIL from a positive standpoint. When we talk about Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, as he likes to be known. What's you guys' kind of thoughts on his move and transition from an HBCU to Colorado? And kind of what do you guys think his impact will be going into this season? Because we know that in 2 seasons, things will change, which is going to be the next topic we talk about. But as far as this coming season, how well do you think, or how successful do you think his team can be going into this year, his first season in the Pac-12?
We talked about this. You want to be honest with what I said?
That's what we're here for, honesty.
Man, those boys, hey.
Maybe 3-9.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe they can improve 2 games.
Maybe, because the Pac-12, they're going to play 12 games, maybe 2-10.
So they can improve 1 or 2 games.
1 or 2 games.
What was their record last year?
1-11.
1-11.
Oh, they'll win. They gonna do better than that.
Well, unless they gonna count.
No, they're gonna be better than 1-11.
What's
they'll
the biggest?
At least. Rome,
let's change the question. In if we don't think it's gonna be a dramatic turn, what's the biggest hurdle that he's gonna have to get over, in you guys' opinion? What's the biggest hurdle?
Gotta get that line right. Number 1.
Right. Yep.
That interior.
Yep. Coach Prime gonna recruit all the talent. He gonna get receivers. He's gonna get special. He gonna get running backs. He might get a quarterback coming a few years later because he want to let his son. He don't want competition on his son. But he's going to get. He's going to do all that.
You said it, not me. I thought it. But you said it.
You know that. You don't see no quarterbacks going over there.
I ain't seen one come in with the Louis bag. He brought everybody with the Louis bag, but a quarterback.
You need to bring his back up. He ain't even bring his back up. I don't think
his son is going to get a lot. He's going to get hit a lot. He's gonna get hit a lot in the Pac-12. He's gonna get hit a lot, okay. and we're gonna see. Listen, this is my thing. But I love what Coach Prime doing. He know how to hype it up. He know how to bring in the ticket sales, but he ain't on the field. See, that's the only thing. You can bring the fans to Colorado. They acting like Coach Deion gonna be playing cornerback. Yep.
I literally just said that on the podcast.
Man, they got the camera more on him than the players.
Hey,
I'm trying to see who y'all got. He on there dancing. Listen, I want to see who playing, man.
I want to see who playing too.
They're gonna win about 3 this year, maybe.
You just can't have that many people go to the portal. He got like 25, 30 people left.
Yeah, we talked about that. 26 players.
That's a heavy load.
Yeah. He brought in 42. He lost 52, brought in 42.
Lincoln Riley did that last year, though.
Yeah, but Lincoln Riley was at SC, though.
He did that last year. And the only thing, Lincoln didn't have a lot of cameras on.
Right.
He was quiet and he did it.
And it's SC. Yeah. Listen.
Yep.
Like Deion said, I know why Deion went to the Pac-12. He felt that the money is going to be greater for NIL because it's like a free agency now in college. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right.
It's like you could go get any recruit you want. So NIL now is let's put this money in a pot and let's go get the players. But you can't mess with Oregon. You can't mess with Oregon with Nike money. Okay, so let's cross that one out. SC and UCLA leaving in a minute. But
you got to deal with UW.
But you're getting cameras though. But you're getting cameras and the money will come. So there's a balance there. I believe that I could go to Oregon. I could go to UW. They're not gonna see me. I go over there with Prime. I just got to stand next to Prime every time the camera on, and they gonna see me.
That ain't gonna work all the time, man.
It's not. But it ain't
gonna.
If you start losing, that camera gonna move off if you start losing.
And they're gonna see it. The camera gonna be there for the wrong reasons. It's gonna be there to critique you. See, Coach Prime finna get critiques heavy this year. I'm telling you guys, brother, watch. Because the people that's really happy for you, it's a lot of people that's not. That said, man, you left that HBC too early. you did this and that. Well, he did. You do what you have to do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
What you gotta do.
Tripping.
If you think he can bring a winning culture to Colorado, I'm behind you. It's coaching. Coaches leave all day long and go get the bag for whatever situation they're in. So I don't knock that. I don't blame that. But it's Colorado, and they've been Colorado for a long time. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Way before they've been Colorado.
I mean, that's a realistic fact that we can think about, because the last time I can recall Colorado being really, really good, they weren't in the Pac-12.
Right. They was in the Big 8, right?
They were still in the Big 12.
Yeah, Big 12. Yeah.
That's when they had those, those nationally contending teams, and they were always in the Big 12 championship game. And I can recall that in the back of my mind, every time they had to play Nebraska or every time they had to play Texas, it was a big game, because whoever won that game essentially was going to win the Big 12 championship, because that was before they even had a championship game. Right. So that actually transitions really well into the next topic we're going to talk about, which is going to be USC and UCLA in 2024, 2025 will be making a transition into the Big Ten.
Yes.
What was you guys' immediate thoughts on when the rumors kind of started that this was going to be something that happened, and then when the reality hit that it was going to be within 2 years, which essentially means that USC, at least specifically, their plan is for Lincoln Riley to spearhead this transition, because you knew that they weren't going to get rid of him in less than 2 seasons.
Right. They brought him over for that, but SC and UCLA, it's about that money, man. It ain't nothing else to it. It's about that money, more revenue.
Yep.
More revenue. They want to get a bigger piece of the pot that they felt the Pac-12 wasn't giving them a bigger piece of the pot, SC and UCLA. They feel, the Big 12, the Big 10 offered them a sizable piece of the pie, and they went after it. And now think about the recruiting, though. USC and UCLA going to be able to recruit on a whole different level.
Yeah, get the Midwest kids.
Yeah, they're going to be able to be kids that always wanted to come and live in Southern California by the beach.
Come back and play at home.
Yeah, so they're going to love that type of, you know what I mean? They get to still come home in middle Wisconsin and play for their family, and then still have the good life. And so these big old linemen, big old chunky corn-fed linemen, I think SC going to start getting a lot of them, because they're going to be able to, their fingerprints, they're going to have boots down in that part of the country now. For sure. And so they're really going to have a strong pull on those, because at the end of the day, they're a blue blood. They're SC. Everybody do anything they can to get SC in them playoffs. Y'all seen that last year. They were trying to do everything they could to get SC. They was mad that Utah beat them. Because when SC is in the championship or in the playoff, it's like football is back, man.
A lot more money, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Alabama, SC. All them schools being in it, they looking at that like, man, that's better than if Clemson was in there. And Clemson, you know what I mean? Let's have SC. So they're pushing for SC and pulling for them. But UCLA, they're gonna have a hard time. In football. Basketball,
they gonna do their thing, and hoop.
It should be okay. But in football,
because the way they recruit is terrible, man. They recruit terrible.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Expound on that. What you mean? What you mean?
They the last one. You can't wait till the last song to try to go talk to the girl you was looking at from across the dance floor.
Yeah.
They wait too late, man. Who would not want to live in Westwood? Tell me anybody in America who would turn down Westwood, California.
Mm-hmm. Next time you go to California, you make sure you go to Westwood, because they speaking the truth right here.
You 5 miles from Santa Monica, Venice Beach, Malibu, not far, man. It's crazy. Beverly Hills is around the corner.
But are you gonna win games?
That's the thing.
Well, if you got to get the guys, you got to go talk to them. They wait too late.
They wait too late.
The head coach they got right now, he has his own system, and it's saddening to me, because I'm from where I'm from. You know what I mean? I'm from Southern Cal. I'm an LA dude. And to see them not be at the top is kind of sad.
Hey, man, it's funny, because Oregon and SC gets our top players.
On the West Coast.
On the West Coast, which is crazy. Yeah. Oregon gets our top players, and so do SC. So Oregon might get the number 1 running back out of California. SC will get the number 1 receiver. It'd be something like that. They splitting athletes left and right. UCLA is not getting none of those.
Well, actually, Oregon is on top now, Ron. I'm just,
I want to keep it. I just
not.
say
I ain't. I'm not saying nothing, but.
Oh crap! Okay, that's where it's coming from.
No.
That's where it's coming from. Okay,
he a serious duck, man. He a serious.
I don't recruit for them. I don't recruit for them. I just went to school there, T.
Okay.
I'm a duck. That's
no
all
bias.
that is.
Okay, he biased. Oh, he biased.
No, I'm not. When it comes to recruiting, man. I'm not.
He biased. He love our. It stops at high school. That's where he loves Southern California sport. And stop at high school. When he get to college,
he spin on out of there. He spin on out of there.
T don't bite that fish, T.
He gonna be with SC until Oregon come to town.
T don't bite that shrimp, man. Don't do me like that.
I know. Listen, brother. We right there, T. Listen.
I told Lincoln Riley, man. I told Lincoln Riley he probably should hire me. It'll probably be beneficial to him to hire me.
Right.
On the staff. I did tell him that.
Yeah.
Don't go here. That's the pitch. Don't go here.
No, I mean it will. Man, look, we solidify Cali. Don't nothing get out of Southern Cal without Roman. Nothing. Nothing. And Deion really gonna have to come through us to come in here, man. To like tear down the gates of Cali. Prime got him to come mess with us.
Well, you know he's gonna be coming there real soon because if he wants to make any headway on anything in the Pac-12, you know he's gonna have to come through that 951-909-213. 323. He gonna have to see them area codes. So that's not a surprise at all. That's gonna actually transition us right into our next topic, which is gonna be talking about Bronny James. Bronny James decided that he's gonna stay home. He's gonna stay in Southern California. He's gonna go. My first question, even though it's kind of
1 second, Q, before you jump in, y'all know I'm gonna get out of here. Got things to take care of, but hey, guys, I really appreciate you all coming on. We really thank you for your time and the great energy y'all brought, man. Hey, if y'all ever just want some guests to pull up, holler at us. You know, we'll return the favor. And anytime y'all are welcome here for sure. Graciously, I'm gonna buy out. Y'all have a great evening, okay, fellas?
Man,
I appreciate you, T. Have a good one.
On the flip. All right, fellas. Peace.
Yeah, so Bronny James is going to be going to USC. He's going to be staying home. First question, the over-under on the season tickets to USC men's basketball, do they double or triple? Which one?
They probably double. Maybe triple in some parts of the seating. You know, seating at different prices.
Yeah. I've been waiting to see because I want to see what they are. I'm not going to be buying them. I'm not buying season tickets, but I just want to see what they are.
But listen, man, I'm on the fence on that one because I mean he wasn't really packing out Sierra Canyon games when they travel different. Not that I seen. Okay. You got to understand, we came from an era where we seen the balls.
Right.
Okay?
Oh yeah.
We seen the ball. We seen when. Even if you had a ticket, you probably couldn't get in the game if you wasn't there on time. And I mean, everywhere. Everywhere. I'm talking about. They had a state championship. Remember, they had a state championship at Long Beach where all of our regional teams was there before the championship, the last game of the open division.
They made everybody leave.
I've never seen that before. They cleared the gym, let media stay in. And then everybody that was outside had to come back, get another ticket and come back in. It was so many people. You've been to the pyramid. It was so many people. So when I look at that, that's pretty much my gauge now. Like, okay, what's the popularity? How we running this? How's it go? And Sierra Canyon got a baby gym. So it's not that hard. The girl, you know they do. Like, let's be honest. We keep it real. They have a baby gym.
It's a small school. They got a small school.
So you can fill that up.
It's like a little, it ain't really no big.
Yeah.
The reason that I ask that question to start with is because it's not just him, right? It's not just him that's going to be going there. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of coverage, not only just because it's LeBron's son is going to be playing in college. He's going to be playing on national TV, but also the fact that there's some other really highly recruited guys. Collier, the kid from Atlanta, Georgia, who's the number one point guard, he's coming there. Yeah. Rodman's son is going to be coming there this coming year. So transferring in. So obviously,
but it was like that. It was like that at Sierra Canyon. There was a time where KJ was there.
Yeah, KJ Martin. Yeah,
and Kenya Martin was hanging out with us, Rome and I.
Scottie Pippins too.
It was right. I was going to say,
the guy that started that, and y'all know this. The guy that started that was the dude that's from Phoenix, that transferred from Phoenix.
Yeah, you talking about?
I forget his name.
Bagley.
He's the first dude that I even saw that was like that level that went to Sierra.
That took Sierra Canyon. Yeah, they had before he got there. They had our what's the big boy? He went to UCLA. The big dude. I can't think his name.
He just left UCLA this year.
Years ago. Probably last year.
I can't. Yeah, he just left him. I can't think of the name.
It'll come to me, but he was the first player to kind of like get them to that start, kind of like had some few, because he had him and then a kid named Riley.
They had who?
Riley. Remember the kid Riley, like an Asian and black kid. Riley. He was good. He went to Arizona. He ended up going to Arizona.
Okay, yeah, I know you're talking about, but it ain't come to my head.
His name slipping my mind, but
what's the dude with the alcohol name? Little Remy Martin.
Remy.
Remy Martin.
Actually graduated from Kansas last year.
Yeah,
he did his thing, but yeah, they had a squad. Biko, he went to San Diego State. They was in the Final Four this year. He was on that team. They had a few players, but Bagley, I believe, was because he was a 5-star recruit.
Right. They brought the stars out though.
Stars out.
You know, because of the relationship. I think Scotty mom and like what's her name?
Kardashians.
Yeah, Kim, and they were friends. But that's high school sports in Southern Cal. At a Fairfax game, you might see Chris Brown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
basketball,
hoop,
yeah,
and football bring them out a little bit, but hoop it's almost like you at the Staples Center, the crypto.
Right.
Were you guys at all surprised that he made the decision to go to SC as opposed to maybe going to UCLA or as opposed to going to any other school? Because in my mind, I was thinking, well, I'm not going to be mad about him going to USC because I'm a USC guy. That's my school. That's my team.
Right.
But ideally, you want to go somewhere where the spot is open and you can shine. And that spot is going to be open this year because they just graduated a senior point guard and they're not going to really have anybody in that spot. What was you guys' thoughts about his decision to go to SC?
I think that got to do with Clutch. You know, Clutch Sports, get the money. You got to remember now it's a business.
Yeah.
See, because think about it. Clutch also has the #1 high school girl that come out of Sierra Canyon, Juju
Watkins.
Yeah.
Clutch is with her too. She went to SC.
Yeah.
So they SC has a connection with Clutch. Listen, it's big business now. At first we used to have to whisper these things. I would have had to text this to you. Now we can talk about it. That's NIL. It's open. It's wide open. So I know they have a relationship. When you get two of the top players, two consider the top player for sure, Juju. When you get other players considered top players and they go there and they're all connected, it leads me to believe it's big business. SC got a business deal with Clutch,
right?
And they're getting their athletes to go there, which I don't see nothing wrong with it. But we all know like SC is football and UCLA is basketball in our state. We don't even have to think about it. We know that when it comes to football, as UCLA, they okay. When it comes to basketball, USC is okay.
Even with OJ Mayo years ago.
Even with the brothers.
That's why I was gonna go.
Even
signing with SC years ago, it ain't make a big difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But USC, I probably would say in the last 15 years, since the OJ Mayo years, they've had at least, I want to say about 4 teams that had really, really good, deep March Madness runs in that, whatever you want to call that, a 15-year span.
Yes.
They've had about 4 or 5 years, and they just came off of one 2 years ago where I think that was the year that UCLA went to the Final Four, and they came up with being short.
Then we had like 4 teams in the Elite 8 that year.
Yeah.
We had Oregon, SC, UCLA, and
Oregon State.
Yeah, we had 4 teams, so we were looking good. That was a tough. Pac-12 was tough that year.
Yeah,
it was tough. But I don't believe Bronny gonna fill up this. I believe that the beginning hype, people gonna go, but I don't think he's gonna fill it up like that. I just don't believe. I believe like once SC start playing and it's pretty much the same SC and he coming off the bench? Because I don't believe he's going to start over Collier. And then what's the other kid? He's coming back, the point guard they had last year. He was a what was his name? He was a top recruit coming
out. I know
you're
talking about. I'm going to look him up while you do it.
Yeah, he's coming out of high school. So that kid, I mean, he's returning. So you have that kid coming back. So that you have the you have your starting five, right? Well, your starting backcourt. So he might be coming off the bench. But this is what I always said. I want everybody to look at this. And when I tell Ike this, he always like, Rome,
Boogie Ellis.
He getting better every year. Boogie Ellis. That's him.
Yeah, that's my boy from San Diego.
Man, listen.
I love Boogie.
Boogie can play. Boogie can play. So Boogie's coming back. But you think about this, sir. Think about this, Q. Bronny went to Sierra Canyon 4 years.
Right.
He started 1. Okay. We talk about elite basketball players. Elite.
Right.
Elite. He's not elite yet. Could he get elite in college? Possibly. Right. Because the way he's going, the way he's trajecting up, he's trending up. Even Ike is saying it. I seen it. He's getting better. He's getting stronger. But it's just something about looking at it and saying it may take 3 years to get to that point. Right. Because I'm looking at any kid that's like a blue chip All-American. You may not start your freshman year on varsity. But by the time you a sophomore, if you a blue chip, you elite, you starting 3 years on varsity in high school, you killing kids. You only playing against maybe 1 or 2 5-stars a year. So if you got 30 games, 40 games, you probably only playing 3 or 4 5-stars in Southern California. Let's say that, right? And in your league, you probably not playing against none. So you should be averaging 30 points, 28, 25. You can't average 14 and be elite. I'm not. Somebody help me to understand this, because elite players, especially basketball. See, you can take over a basketball game. You can't take over a football game. No one person can take over a football game. It's impossible.
Right.
But one person can take over a basketball game. We know that. You know what I mean?
Kobe.
There you go, right there. So I look at that and I say, okay, you're going to SC. I lean more to the Collier kid. He's going to be a star. That's what the light going to be on. Boogie Ellis, he's a star in the making already. He has his game, but he don't have to leave, right? Because he's going to be making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 staying back. Yeah. So why go pro when you really ain't got to right now?
Right.
You're making money, but I believe they're gonna sell tickets, but I believe it's gonna go back to like regular SC basketball. No, you gotta listen to a AQ for real. Listen to a show that my boy Keyshawn Johnson. They asked him the same question, right? He said, "Man, I've been going to the Galen Center since it's open, and I've never seen it sold out." He's not saying that on the radio. I was like, "Oh, Key, that's what I'm feeling." He's like, "I don't." Hey,
look, in Southern Cal, you got the Lakers.
You got a lot of things to go to, yeah.
You got for basketball. For basketball, you got the LA Lakers. You got number 2 would probably be UCLA.
Yeah, basketball. Okay, yeah.
Then you got the Clippers. Clippers will fall third in Southern Cal. And then you'll probably have Bishop Montgomery, Fairfax,
Modern-Day Fairfax,
Etiwana, Corona, Centennial,
Corona girls.
Even Sierra Canyon girls,
La Jolla Day, them girls out there. You got all that. That's over SC.
for basketball, I hate to say it, but. And they want to change the trend. I know that because I'm Coach Mobley. I'm not
getting Bronny.
They getting kids. The Mobley boys is bad. I mean, you know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking about the Mobleys.
They had DeMar DeRozan from Compton. We had heat. Don't trip.
Right.
SC had basketball heat, but ain't nobody really tripping off of SC hoop. Ain't nobody be like, man, we got to really get ready for them tonight.
Right.
I don't think nobody in the pack is like nervous. Like Arizona, you better,
think about Think about Pac-12 basketball. Pac-12 basketball is on a way higher level than its football, as a whole.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
As a whole,
sure.
Pac-12 basketball, you got teams that's getting to the Final Four, Elite Eight every year, like Oregon. Oregon had a regular season; they still went to the Sweet 16. You see what I'm saying? And they had a lot of losses. So you think about that, and Oregon is one of our top teams. You got Oregon State coming along, UCLA, Stanford. They're gonna get back together, and then of course you got Arizona. Arizona is just a juggernaut every year.
I like Bronny though, man. Hey,
I like Bronny.
I know Bronny getting better every year. Q.
I'm seeing it. I've been watching highlights. I haven't got to go to watch any live games.
He has gotten. That's what I was looking at.
From everything I've seen, he had a substantially large improvement from his junior year to his senior year.
Yes,
you can just tell
his jump shot, his IQ, his basketball IQ is tremendous. But you got to keep improving. And what Rom is saying, he looking at Jello ball, because Jello was getting like 72 points his senior year, and he still didn't make the McDonald game.
Right.
Jello scored 72, 55. This is before Melo scored the 91.
92.
92. Jello was averaging and this is against some guys.
Right.
And he didn't make the McDonald's, and Big O from that team who won
Big O won three state titles, one national championship.
Right.
He didn't make McDonald's.
He didn't make the McDonald's All-American.
So it's just I don't know through the voting for that. But
see, let me tell you something. We went and
we only got a minute, wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry. We went and watched Bronny play real quick. And let me tell you something. If you just look at the eye test, Bryce is the truth. I hate to say it like that. But that Bryce, woo! Now you see how that works? You ain't even got to go into, well, he getting better every year, his X's and O's. You just look at him and say, man, Bryce is cold.
Yeah, he gonna be all right.
Well, I'm gonna leave this topic here for you guys, because I've talked about this. I've talked about this on a couple of occasions on my social media page. If there's a guy who LeBron needs to have Bronny sit down and watch, if he needs to mold his game after somebody else, and I'm sure he got the connect so he could get him to work with him, it's another guy from Southern California, and I'm talking about Drew Holiday. That's the mold. That's the mold right there. That's the guy that Bronny James needs to measure himself to.
Yeah.
I have plenty of memories when I was a freshman. Drew Holiday was a senior.
Was he at Campbell? What school was
at Campbell Hall.
Campbell Hall. Yeah.
And him and DeMar DeRozan played each other in a game I've never seen played so well. I've never seen two guys go back and forth in a high school game, regulation like that before. And that's when I was like, oh, this dude, he liked that. He liked that. So
that's
but
true.
Ultimately, guys, I think that the one thing is that while Bronny for me has not necessarily lived up to maybe the expectations of what a blue chip prospect can be, I think there's plenty of examples of guys, and maybe it takes more than a year, but there's plenty of examples of guys who were not considered 4- and 5-star recruits when they went to college, and then in about 2 or 3 years they clearly made themselves into NBA prospects.
Right.
And the guy who comes to my mind like that is a guy who just now is kind of graduating, and I'm talking about Drew Timme. Drew Timme from Gonzaga was a guy who nobody even talked about. He's from Richardson. He's from Dallas, near where I'm living.
Okay.
And he wasn't really that highly recruited. I mean, he went to Gonzaga as a solid player, but he clearly became one of the best college players his last 2 years playing at Gonzaga. Yeah. And if Bronny can take the next 2 years to really do that, I think I think it's a solid expectation to think that. Yeah,
and that's what I want. That's what I want people to really get from that, man. Don't put too much on him. Don't put the expectations to be like his dad or compare him to somebody else, because it's going to take. I was telling I said I think he's a 3-year project. I believe he'll come out his junior year. I don't believe he's a one and done. I don't even think 2 years. 3 solid years of college ball, and I believe he'll be ready. I'm not saying, oh, he ain't gonna make it. Oh, he done. No, I just think that the praise they put on certain people, it sets them up to when they don't achieve that praise that we put on them, not that stuff that we put on them. Then we pile all this negative criticism on them, and it can mess up their game if they, you know what I'm saying, looking at it from one direction. So I want people to understand, like, man, give Bronny time. Watch his growth. He may not be like Bryce. See, Bryce might be real one and done. Bryce might get done with high school and go to the G League. You know what I mean? Skip college, go to G League 1 year and go head on to the pros. I'm just looking at his growth and how he's playing, the stuff he's doing. He's at another level right now. And he's what, a sophomore?
Be a sophomore next year.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Give Bronny time. I think he's going to a good program. SC gonna be able to, because they don't get a lot of eyes on him in basketball. Like I said, once the hype go down, they'll be back to regular SC. They'll be able to, you know what I'm saying? He'll be able to work his stuff out, get his game up. But like I said, I see him getting up from his sophomore year, junior to senior. You know, more time he got to play. And then he lit it up in the All-Star game and the McDonald's game with a lot of other All-Stars around him. So he was able to, you know, show up and show out in that platform too. But we got to give him time. I don't think he's a one and done nor 2 years. That's my opinion. I think we got to give him time to develop into a professional. You know, right now, I think he probably still playing like a good junior in high school. No, a good junior. That means that he got time to develop.
This boy cold, man.
Fair enough. We're gonna leave it there, guys. And number one, we want to make sure that everybody like, share, subscribe to this channel. The Mic Check Podcast will be bringing
Mic Check.
The Mic Check is to do with football, basketball, boxing. We'll be doing a lot of that. Also, look out for this. This wasn't officially announced until tonight. I will be at the Virgil Ortiz versus Amantes Stanionis fight in San Antonio at the AT&T Center. We're going to be doing a live show. Tia will be joining me remotely, but I will be live at the arena during the prelim fights, giving you guys a live sneak peek look into my seats at the fight, as well as what we expect from that fight as well. We want to appreciate Ike in Rome, the Ike in Rome radio show, for joining us. They will be starting a new podcast very, very soon. Make sure you follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and anywhere else you guys can find them on social media. We really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you, everybody else, for joining. Everybody else, have a good night.
Appreciate it. Have a good one, man. Be blessed, brother.
Thank you, T. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yep. Winning life. Ike in Rome, 2015. Whoa.